So you may be realizing there is something different with my face, and that is indeed that I have a piece of metal in my nose. I got this done yesterday, and I thought today I would make a video about sort of me getting it done and some frequently asked questions which I've had in the past day about me getting it done. So the first one is basically, where did I get this done? I got this done at a place called White Dragon in Stockport, and I got it done for £5. If that seems incredibly cheap and might not seem trustworthy, but it is actually very trustworthy. I know a lot of people who have had piercings there. They've all been okay, and this piercing has been okay so far in the day which I've had it. So you could either get it done for £5 with a gun or £10 with a needle. So around a year ago I asked my mum whether I could get it done in this time period of my life, which is after GCSEs, after I finished school, and I was 16. I didn't want to get it done as soon as I turned 16 because then I would be having it in school and I would not be allowed it in school, so I'd have to take it out. I didn't want to get it done as soon as I finished school because then I would still have exams and I didn't want to be distracted during my exams. I then didn't want to get it done as soon as I'd finished exams because I had this thing called NCS. If you don't know what that is, I will be making a video in a few weeks explaining it and my experience with it, so make sure to watch that. But basically there was a chance I was going to be in murky water, so I didn't want to get it done so soon before NCS, and decided I'll get it done the week after my first week of NCS, which was yesterday. So I asked my mum about a year ago and she said it was okay. Another question, which is definitely the most asked question I've had since I have had it, is did it hurt? I was hyping it up to be quite painful. At this place I went to, you don't need an appointment, so you literally just go and say, hi, can I have my nose pierced? And they're like, yeah, sure, sit down, we'll do it in a few minutes. We got there and they were like, yes, that's fine, we'll just get everything ready and then you can come in. So I went in and my friends weren't allowed in the room with me. I think that's either just because they need focus or something, I don't really know why. But then he was speaking to me about the whole procedure and about like what I'll have to do after I've had it done, and they were very, very helpful with it and made sure that like if I had any questions that I didn't feel sort of awkward asking them or things like that. He was talking to me about whether I wanted it done with the gun or whether I wanted it done with the needle. The gun is not as bad as it sounds, it's just sort of in the shape of a gun. I didn't really want the gun because apparently getting it with a gun is not as good. I don't really know why, but I didn't really want it done with a gun. And I also didn't want it done with a gun because I didn't like the sound. And he spoke to me about the advantages and disadvantages of having either the gun or the needle. The gun is that it's much quicker and easier. With a needle, it's also not a disadvantage. It's just that the thing in your nose on the back has a pigtail kind of shape. And if it falls out, then you probably won't be able to put it back in yourself. And I didn't really want to have that struggle because if it fell out by the time I'd gone back to them to get it put back in, it would have healed up already. And I didn't really want that to happen. So I was like, let's just go with the gun. And I was asking sort of how big the stud is because I didn't want it to be too big and then really obvious on my nose. This is much bigger than what I actually want to change it into, but for the time being, you just have to keep in the one which it's pierced with and then you can change it. So I got it done on Saturday and you can actually change it on Monday, but it has to be changed into a specific one. The only problem with getting your nose pierced is that there isn't a bat. So at night you have to put a plaster over it, but that's really not that bad. He was like, right, I'll count down, 3, 2, 1, and then he did it. It was a bit louder than when he put it next to my ear because it was right like on me. I sort of jumped as soon as he did it, but it really didn't hurt as much as I thought it was going to hurt, but I did think it was going to hurt a lot. So I don't really know how to tell you how much it hurt because it also ranges per person. My friend said that she didn't really feel any pain when she got hers done, she just sort of felt a bit of pressure. I definitely felt pain, but then as soon as it had been done, I didn't really feel anything. And then he gave me a card and was like, this is the number of the place. If you need to ask questions about anything, feel free to call up. Here is a sheet on how to take care of it, and you basically just have to do salt water twice a day and just sort of get a cotton bud in. Also try not to touch it with your dirty hands because of bacteria. A question which I actually thought myself before I had it done was what about like sneezing and stuff? isn't it gonna really hurt when you sneeze? The actual angle of the stud is out of the way of your nose, so it's not gonna have pressure put on it by you sneezing. It's kind of awkward when you need to itch it, and obviously I don't want to touch it because I don't want to put bacteria on it and get it infected. It probably won't get infected if you look after it, so that is not really something to worry about. But obviously when I take this one out to switch it on Monday, I will not be taking it out for a long period of time, as it can heal up very, very quickly when you first have it done. One question I was also asked, only like once or twice, was did it bleed when I had it done? Yes, but that isn't really anything to worry about. Like, obviously if you cut your nose then you're going to get a nosebleed. It's not because you've like pierced something really vital and now you're bleeding everywhere. It was fine. I apparently had a nose which bled a bit more than some people, but I wasn't too worried about it because I know it's not bad and that does happen. So that is my nose piercing. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask me, but this obviously isn't about me having a nose piercing, this is just about me getting it done because I have only had it for a few days, so I don't really know. In a while I can make a video about having a nose piercing and things like that. If you would like me to, give this video a thumbs up if you would like me to do that. Also go and check out my other channel, there will be a link below and a little tab thing there, or whatever they're called. Subscribe if you are new here, and I will see you soon. Goodbye!